Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the September 9th meeting of the Stockbridge Assessors. Mike,
Good morning. Okay, approval of the minutes.
move to approve the minutes from our last meeting, which was whenever it was.
It was the 26th, 24th,
Yeah.
24th.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Okay. So you have, Tammy got ready the batch of motor vehicle abatement applications.
Okay.
Do we have anybody? No. Okay. Oh, so number 3, from the last meeting, because we are in the tax season. I did finish the sale, finally, I did finish sales analysis on Friday. But I'm still fine tuning it, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have the LA3, which is the sales analysis, in Gateway and ready to submit either by the end of the week or mid next week. I still have to do the encode spreadsheet. I did code out a few sales as outliers. We ended up using 28 sales from calendar year 2023, and we're going to be running with a ratio of 95%. We have to be between 90 and 110%, and our COD is 6.5.
Mike,
We-
maybe just say what COD means.
COD is coefficient of dispersion. It's how you have to be within a certain range for the DOR. You have to have a median, which is your middle sale of between 90 and 110%. We're typically between 95 and 100%. It's going to be around 95, 96 this year. The COD is how far away the rest of the sales are from the middle sale. And that has to be below 10% for residential properties. It can be 20% or lower for commercial. We actually are submitting 2 commercial properties this year for that. It doesn't, submitting the sales analysis doesn't mean our work is done by no means. I still have the personal property to account for because all of the second home changes for the amount that we charge for furnishings and fixtures, that all has to be recalculated because the valuations are changing. I don't want to really get into how much the values are changing, but again, we are still in a cycle of the real estate sales, basically, I would say 90 to 95% of them being higher than last year's assessment, which will mean there are going to be some major changes again to almost all styles of property. There will be some land adjustments as well in certain areas, and there will be some changes to the commercial and industrial class as well. I don't think there's a style of property that isn't going to see a change upward. But again, like every year, we stress wait until we figure out what the tax rate's going to be, because then we can calculate what the average assessment is and we can calculate what the average increase and in some cases decrease could be if the tax rate goes down low, which it probably lower than it was last year. We will be there probably closer to October. We're still dealing with, and I think a decision was made on how the accounting is going to be handled in town. And I will be setting up a password and username for the accounting service that is going to be used. They are actually going to be the ones that are submitting the information for the tax rate, because I did ask Mike that, and it won't be anyone here. They will be calculating the receipts. They will be filling in the forms. So I have to set up, I said, give me the contact information for who's ever going to be, I want one person. I don't want to have to go to 5 different people. One person that I can put in Gateway as the accountant supervisor. I did set up Terry as the accountant, but again, things changed Thursday night. So I
They're
don't,
starting for this cycle?
yes, I believe so.
Why don't you say what they,
I don't know the name of the
Oh,
it's
but it is
it's an accounting firm that will be handling the I don't know I think Terry's doing accounts payable. They're going to be doing everything else. And I could be wrong on that. I would check with Mike Canales. I'm not 100%. I did not watch the meeting on Thursday. But he did mention that we're going with a firm, and I wish I had written down their name, but I didn't, but he's got all that information. We do have the first form that has to be filled out, which I put on our last meeting, the CP1. That's filled out. I did our part. So I don't know if the accounting firm is in place yet to handle that form. It's not, the CP1 for the community preservation. It's not that difficult. I can't fill in the accounting side, but I'm going to mention it to Terry and Erica that maybe they can work on it. It's due on the 15th. So that's coming up quick. That's the start of all of our forms going forward. And I'm going to start plugging in what I can for us on Gateway for the tax rates. I would probably say without a doubt that we will be late this year with getting the tax rate set, just because of the flow and the change in who's doing what for submitting the tax rate. Hopefully, our goal is to still have that tax bill out by the end of the year, and that's what we're striving for. Since we are a semi-annual community and we are required to get a bill out before the end of the year. Number 4 is really just an extension of what I was just talking about. I can't really do anything to the personal property accounts until I really commit to the final values for or we commit as a group to the final values, and then I can start making the changes. It's usually that's usually the last thing that I do. Number 5, I've been going back and forth with the attorney for the Olexacs on Mohawk Lake Road. They've been in a chapter land for decades, and they're looking to come out of the chapter because they're going to be selling the land. It's 19 acres on Mohawk Lake Road. And it's been a long time since I've done a rollback tax calculation or even handed out information for a first right of refusal on a chapter land. But I did send all the, Erica calculated the interest for me. I calculated the last 5 years for the full and fair cash value for the 19 acres. My only concern with that is the first right of refusal, according to the paperwork. I mean, there's not, if you go on the state's website, it refers to a website called www.woods.net, which reviews the chapter lands. And if you check on the first right of refusal, it brings up Goshen information. So I don't know if they're the ones that established that. But I sent that to him because there's nothing in the pamphlet about how exactly the first right of refusal works. Some of the information says you're supposed to contact 5 or 6 different groups. What I always thought was the Board of Assessors, the Select Board, the Planning Board, and the Conservation Commission were the 4 boards that had to get notified of what the intent was for removing the chapter. If they were going to keep it under a chapter, then there would be no need to do first right of refusal, but they're not. They actually have a client ready to buy this property. So they need to, in order for that to happen, the rollback tax has to be paid, the lien has to be removed, and the first right of refusal has to be established. I don't know if they're aware, I did highlight it when I sent it to them, that the Board of Assessors and all the other boards have 120 days to make up their mind on this, whether they want it. So, and I would imagine it would have to go to an open meeting.
We did one in Otis and I put it on the select board meeting.
Okay.
It's on the agenda. It was in the minutes.
And it was like but they didn't want it.
They didn't
Okay.
want it.
Because if for some reason they did want it, an appraisal would have to be done. This could stretch things out well into next year. I think they're under the impression that they can wrap this up in a month. I don't think so. They still, well, they could if the boards put it on their agenda immediately. I sent him, it's over $4,000 for the rollback. I sent it to him and he came back and said, is this it? Is this like the final amount? And Erica calculated the interest until the end of September. So I said, this is a pretty good amount. This is a very accurate amount.
So that's the interest plus the rollback tax?
Yep. And then you deduct the small amount that they did pay on their reduced amount. And then his question was, okay, then after that, are you going to tax us at full value? And obviously we will, because they're not going to keep it under the chapter. So it seems pretty clear. There's just a little bit of unknown as far as one says you're supposed to notify the community preservation. I can imagine that might be because of the open space.
Yes.
They may want to use money to acquire that.
Yeah.
So I did put that in there that, you're going to want to.
Or the land trust.
Right, and are they meeting yet? Do you know if the CPC is meeting yet?
No, but I
Probably
mean,
not.
if we had to, we could.
Okay, so I'm gonna make sure he knows that.
I would let Sally know that, or I don't know who should let Sally know that, I guess I would say.
Okay, because obviously, I'm pretty sure this 19 acres is a buildable piece of land, and that's why they're selling it. Okay, I will notify
And you also have,
additional people.
the other group there, the one that's working with the folks over on, the Middle Road, Glendale Middle Road, the housing group there.
Oh, is Patrick on that?
Yeah,
Well, he'll know.
He'll know.
He'll know, yeah. When they get but I mean, he can't, this attorney cannot skip a step. I mean, this is one of the, I haven't done, again,
yeah, like you said, if it's a buildable, property.
Yes.
It's gonna be, pretty, I would guess, have a good price tag
Yep.
to it.
We have another one that's sort of waiting in the wings that I haven't heard of, but the longer they wait, the closer we get to the beginning of the year and removal of the lien, that should take place before the end of the year. Or else it's gonna be, we're gonna consider it under a chapter for next year as of January 1st. I did not, I didn't put it on here, but it is chapter related. The CL1 forms that we typically send out in August that are due October 1st. I don't know if you remember, the the state changed the deadline on those. They now have until December 1st to get them back. We usually have them in October. We start reviewing them in November. There are two that are up for renewal this year, High Lawn Farm and the Linda Cardillo. They are up for renewal for chapter forest management. I haven't heard, typically those are back by June. We don't do anything. They have to contact the Forest Management Service to have a new forest management plan done. That has to be should have been in well before October 1st, let alone December 1st. So I may send them just a letter and say, you know what, I hope you're aware, if the forest manager hasn't gotten a hold of you, he should have, because this is important. I don't think it's just a renewal, but if they don't renew by January 1 and it comes in late after that, we have to take them off for fiscal year 26, and we can't reinstate it until fiscal year 27. So, I'm gonna contact them. I don't know if they know. And the CL1 forms are gonna go out today.
Okay.
I mean, that's plenty of time for people to respond if December 1st is a Sunday, but it still should be on or before December 1. That's all I have, but we do have to go into executive session.
Right, and there's nobody on Zoom. Oh, somebody's on Zoom.
Hello.
I think it's Clarence, isn't
Right, I'm late and I guess I might as well leave.
it?
Do you have any questions?
No, I missed the sales discussion, if you had that. The FY25. I didn't know what it was, but
Oh, that's, we're in the midst of getting stuff ready to submit to the DOR for the valuations.
oh, okay.
That's what it is. We're not there yet. I mean, I have a good number as of last week, but I haven't entered in. Everything has to be put in the gateway system and submitted that way. So we're in the start of the fiscal year 25 tax bill season.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right, then I will bid you farewell. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay.
Okay, so with that said, we are going to vote to go into executive session per Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A7, to discuss and review the following. 3 ABC form for the following exempt property, which is Austin Ridge Center Incorporated. And when we're done with the executive session, we will not return to our open meeting session, and we will adjourn from that point on. So I would entertain a motion to close our open meeting and go into executive session.
Second.
And all those in favor? Aye. So moved. And thanks everyone for being online.
Thank you.